So you are hosting a panel. You're going to lead a panel discussion and you don't want it to suck. There's some basic mistakes that people make when they go out to create a panel. The first is they go and look at what other people do and then they do that. Stay away from that, because what they do is mistake number one. They basically go in a row and have everyone answer the same question. Now, first of all, it's boring. Secondly, it makes everyone on the panel commit to like a mini presentation, and that's what they're trying to do. And if you notice, you've been to panels, you know they do this. The second person says, well, I would just like to reiterate what Don said, and then they repeat it and add a thing. And then the next person comes on, well, I would like to just support what I just heard. And they go down the line essentially saying what the first person said with a little addition. The next big mistake that people make on a panel discussion is they have one mic for the host, the panel leader, and then they have a mic to pass around with the rest of the people. Nothing could destroy a discussion more than having to pass a mic. How do you hop in and talk with somebody? You can't do that. Imagine a dinner conversation. Yes, yes, here's my input on the conversation. And then passing the mic. People talk together in a discussion. And you have to free people from the robotic, mechanical, person by person mini presentation that a handheld mic requires. Unless you're going to give everyone a handheld mic, I guess that's fine. But they all have to be individually mic'd. If you have any trouble finding mics for people, you go to the tech. The tech is someone dressed in black. They have a little belt that probably has black tape on it and some little tools and clothespins clipped to them. The tech's job is to bring enough mics. You have to have a mic for every single person on the panel. And those mics preferably would be a lavalier so they can just be themselves and talk. Third big mistake, if you want to make sure your panel discussion absolutely sucks, share all the questions with the people in advance. Give them the chance to see the questions and prepare a speech for each one. That's what you're going to get. You don't want to share the questions with them. You want to share the topics. Let's back up and start over again and talk about how you get a good panel discussion. Your goal is to make it like a dinner conversation. What you might do is share with the panelists in advance. These are the topics and subtopics we want you to be prepared to speak of. Not here are the questions, but here's the zones we'll be talking in. Come with your ideas on this stuff. And maybe you have a few pre-written questions just in case you draw a blank and nothing's happening. But what your job is to do is to start people talking. So the first thing you do is you share the topics. The second, you have a couple note cards for emergency questions or starter questions. But once it gets going, you start listening and you start spinning the conversation in real time, just like you would at a dinner party. Now, someone answers the first question, you can say, that's great, go to someone else for another question. So you're spinning it around, spreading it around. Now, here's a great tip if you want to make sure it's truly a discussion. I've never seen anyone except the people I've coached to do panel discussions do it this way. This works really well. I get a question and I turn and I say, all right, here's the next question. Read the question and then say, Rodriguez and Judy, I would like to hear from both of you on this. Send the question to two people and a couple things happen. First, you have given a discussion starter and you've identified who should respond to it. And the second thing that happens in there is they're talking together without the rest of the panel feeling that they should necessarily jump in. So I take questions and I come up with new questions on the subject in the moment. I have my backup questions and I send the question to more than one person. And by doing that, I'm perpetually promoting a dinner conversation style conversation. If your panel is inside a conference where it's in between several sessions of speakers, you've got your keynote, you got your session speeches, and suddenly a panel, this is a breath of fresh air. It's not about getting all the content right. It's not about getting all the content out. It's about hearing people discuss it as a group. So don't do a sucky panel discussion. Lead a conversation, and the rules are about the same as having a good dinner conversation. Be well, let me know how it goes.